As we move swiftly along to the next item of the agenda, please help me to welcome the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, ably represented by Mr. Chibuike Mwagiriwe, the Director, Other Financial. Applause, please, for our keynote address.
The Director General, Security and Exchange Commission, the Chair of EFINA Board, other members of the Board of EFINA, members of the National Financial Inclusion Governance organs here present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm most delighted to deliver this keynote speech on behalf of the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso. Financial inclusion initiatives are very, very close to the Governor's heart. And indeed, he planned to be physically present here to deliver this keynote speech. But for some exigencies that came up at the last minute that kept him back at Abuja. So he has directed that I convey his apologies to you all and that I deliver this keynote speech on his behalf. I'll now proceed to read out his already prepared notes. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be here at this 2023 Access to Financial Services in Nigeria survey findings launch by EFINA. This event is indeed timely, given the need for continuous measurement of the impact of policies developed over the years on financial inclusion statistics, and also to assess the progress towards our joint financial inclusion goals. Let me use this opportunity to commend EFINA and its partners for long-standing support for financial inclusion initiatives in Nigeria through research, advocacy, and provision of timely data on access to financial services. Insights from the work done by EFINA since 2008 have assisted ecosystem players in developing innovative products and formulating fit-for-purpose, evidence-based policies that have moved the financial inclusion dial in Nigeria. As you are aware, financial inclusion is a topic very close to my heart. Being a former chair of EFINA board, I have witnessed firsthand the impact of EFINA's access to finance services survey in the industry, particularly how it stimulated commitment across players in the ecosystem towards plugging identified gaps. The theme of today's event, building a more inclusive and sustainable economy, the role of financial inclusion, is very apt. As we aspire to build a strong and diversified economy, our focus must be to promote efficiency, stability, and inclusiveness in the distribution of gains of financial and economic development. There is no doubt that stakeholders' optimism is at an all-time high, and that past efforts will translate into improved attainment of objectives. I'm indeed gratified to be part of these historical happenings as we celebrate and accelerate financial inclusion in Nigeria for the benefit of the generality of our citizens. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, financial inclusion has become a global development imperative. It is critical to bridging income inequality, combating poverty, and forging social harmony. To buttress this, over 68 countries have developed and are currently implementing national financial inclusion strategies. At its core, financial inclusion provides the opportunity for equitable distribution of financial resources to support economic growth. It also contributes to the attainment of central banks' goal of price and monetary stability. An inclusive financial system that allows broad access to a wide range of formal financial services is essential for better transmission of monetary policy actions. Studies reveal a strong correlation between the integration of persons into the formal financial services with reduced income inequality and overall economic growth and development. To develop its commitment to addressing financial inclusion, Nigeria pledged to address its financial inclusion gap at the Alliance for Financial Inclusion Global Policy Forum, held in 2011 in Mexico, where policymakers from over 70 countries converged to adopt what is now called the Maya Declaration. Following Nigeria's commitment to the Maya Declaration, key stakeholders developed and launched the National Financial Inclusion Strategy in 2012 with a target to achieve 80% financial inclusion rate by 2020. The target has since been revised, setting a 95% inclusion goal by 2024, with a focus on increasing adoption and usage of financial services in key priority demographics, ensuring robust financial services infrastructure and services, expanding digital financial services, and improving financial inclusion coordination and governance. Despite our efforts, some demographics like women, youths, MSMEs, citizens in rural areas, and in some regions remain disproportionately excluded. We are confident that efforts by stakeholders since the last release of the revised National Financial Inclusion Strategy will address these gaps and enable us to show some improvement. It's expected that the survey findings will also reveal the need to refocus attention on the financial health of Nigerian citizens, especially in the wake of global economic shocks. We must redouble our efforts to develop innovative solutions to enable inclusion and be intentional about how we execute. For instance, the access points and solutions that proved effective in the past for the included population might not be suitable for currently excluded segments. The products and services that we develop to get us to where we are now will need some refinement to ensure that they are fit for purpose for the next phase of the journey. Notably, digital financial services presents an opportunity to unlock the potential for those excluded groups. The potential was displayed during the COVID-19 pandemic, when a significant proportion of our citizens seamlessly transited to digital platforms for their transactions. Inclusivity ensures that individuals, micro, small, and medium enterprises have access to affordable and appropriate financial services, which will translate to more people in the formal economy and also give them increased access to economic and job opportunities. Financial inclusion plays a crucial role in protecting the most vulnerable individuals and communities from the impact of economic uncertainties by ensuring consistent access to essential financial services like credits, emergency funds, digital payments, and social safety disbursements. Allow me at this juncture to speak briefly about some of the efforts of the CBN to foster new technologies and innovation that support inclusive growth. Recently, the bank published a service charter which demonstrates its commitment to being a people-focused central bank, committed to high levels of service delivery. We also developed a regulatory sandbox framework that provides formal process for firms to conduct live tests of new innovative products and services in a controlled environment. The first cohort of the sandbox has already started with 7 startups in participation. The CBN established National Collateral Registry to ease collateral-related constraints for SMEs, thereby increasing access to finance for them. The Sabi Money financial literacy platform was also launched. This platform is a fully digital financial literacy platform rolled out in collaboration with key stakeholders to complement the bank's existing efforts to drive financial literacy in target demographics. We also developed and implemented a framework for advancing women's financial inclusion, which provides strategic imperatives to close the financial inclusion gender gap in Nigeria. We appreciate the contributions of supporting institutions like FINA to the achievements recorded thus far. As chair of the National Financial Inclusion Steering Committee, I will continue to work with other leaders in the ecosystem to ensure that the goal of inclusive growth and development is achieved through financial inclusion. Over the past years, financial inclusion stakeholders have made tremendous efforts in expanding financial service access through rapid deployment of agents and development of a mix of products suitable for the financially excluded demographics. Very recently, the Central Bank of Nigeria issued a guideline on linking Tier 1 accounts to BVN and the national identity number in a bid to ensure that the financial system is safe for all of us and also supports the financial inclusion drive. Stakeholders must also work towards addressing infrastructural issues in underserved areas like broadband penetration and digital identification. I'm glad that some of our stakeholders, like the Nigerian Communication Commission and the National Identity Management Commission, have already started taking action and are making giant strides in this respect. In addition to already existing strategies, the Central Bank of Nigeria will focus on deepening financial services to support the conduct of monetary policy going forward. Financial inclusion broadens the reach of monetary policy by increasing the number of individuals and businesses participating in formal financial system. This expanded participation provides additional channels through which changes in interest rates and other policy tools can influence economic activity. Let me also use this opportunity to commend all financial inclusion stakeholders once again for the efforts made and for the progress recorded. However, to achieve the target of 95% financial inclusion by 2024, we must all move from collaboration to concrete commitment. To this effect, I call on all implementation agencies to set up specific functions or units dedicated to financial inclusion in their various organizations. This, I believe, will provide the necessary ownership and commitment needed to achieve our collective goals. Finally, as data is the main crux of this event, let me mention that the bank will continue to leverage data for policy making and to strengthen monetary policy implementation. The financial inclusion data that would be showcased at this event will contribute to this objective in no small measure. I call on all stakeholders to come up with a framework that will leverage data for all financial inclusion related efforts going forward. In conclusion, let me state that concerted efforts by stakeholders are needed to meet our inclusion targets and achieve the economic and social development that we all desire. Therefore, I urge every stakeholder here to activate every lever necessary to deepen financial inclusion and broaden the usage of financial services in Nigeria. On this note, I congratulate you all for the collective progress being made. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. Another round of applause, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Nwagwere, for espousing the CBN and the governor's commitment to driving financial inclusion and for reminding us of our collective goals and responsibilities to achieving those objectives.